Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Liam Douglas here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the new Insta360 Ace Pro Mark II action camera. But before we get into all the details of this camera, let's go ahead and roll the intro. Okay, so in late 2024, Insta360 released the second generation of their Ace Pro action camera. This one's the Ace Pro 2. And as you can see, it looks very similar to the original Ace Pro. Now, I can't show you my original Ace Pro because it's the camera I'm actually filming this video on today. But you can tell by looking at it, it's pretty much the same design, looks fairly identical to the original Ace Pro, but there are some subtle differences, and they could be very important to you if you're looking for a good quality action camera and you prefer something other than the GoPro series of cameras. So what are the main differences in the Ace Pro Mark II? Well, unlike the original Ace Pro, the Ace Pro Mark II has two chips inside it. So it has a Pro imaging chip as well as a 5 nanometer AI chip, where the original Ace Pro only had the 5 nanometer AI chip and nothing else. So the AI chip did both the imaging as well as the other functionalities inside the camera. So the new camera has a separate chip for the image sensor and then a separate one for processing the images and the video as you capture them. Now, the other differences are this camera has an upgraded 1/1.3 inch sensor, so it's the same size sensor as the original Ace Pro, but it's an upgraded version. Now, the lens on this model has a field of view of 157 degrees versus 151 on the original. And then we get into the imaging differences on this one versus the original. So the original Ace Pro could do 8K at 24 frames per second. The new model can do 8K at 30 frames per second. The new one can do 4K at 60 frames, where the original model did 4K at 30 frames. And the max pure video resolution for low light shooting is 4K 60 on the new model versus 4K 30 on the old model. So quite a bit of differences there. Another subtle difference is the Ace Pro 2's rear LCD, which flips up just like it did on the first version, is slightly bigger at 2.5 inches versus 2.4, and they did also increase the PPI of the screen to 326 from 192, and it's 900 nits of brightness now versus 850 in the original version. Now, the new camera does also have a removable lens guard, which you can peel off, and it just protects the edges of the Leica lens that's on this camera. It's just basically a little rubber guard to kind of protect the lens from chipping and stuff like that, should it get knocked around or anything like that. And it's a little bit tricky to put it back on once you get it off. That's why I don't usually take it off, but I wanted to show it to you. All right, so we got her back on there. And then the other difference is this model comes out of the box with the wind guard attachment to help reduce wind noise if you're using the internal microphones for recording the audio with your video. Now, the other main difference between this one and the other one is the new model is waterproof up to 39 feet or 12 meters, where the original model was waterproof for 33 feet or 10 meters. So you get a little bit more submersion depth with the new one than you got with the old one. And then, of course, we have the new video features and the additional chip for image processing. But in every aspect, this camera is every bit as good and even better than the original Ace Pro because of the upgrades they made to it that I mentioned during the course of this video. Now, I did take the camera out early this morning when I first got up, when it was still dark out, and I just shot a few seconds of low light video with it at my house, so you could see what the pure video mode looks like versus the old camera. It's a bit brighter, and it's a little more clear and sharp than the original Ace Pro was. And I'm also going to include some other sample video footage in this video so that you can check it out for yourself. But again, I've been very impressed the last couple of years with Insta360. They've just been putting out fantastic products. I had been a GoPro action camera user for a long time, but GoPros always had little quirks with them. Sometimes their cameras would randomly overheat and lock up. Sometimes they just crash and reboot for seemingly no reason and stuff like that. And GoPro just doesn't seem to be innovating as much anymore. And of course, the company hasn't been doing as well financially. And I'm not saying all of that to be mean to GoPro. I hope they continue to be successful as a company. I'm hoping that someday their stock price will recover and they'll be in a better financial position. And I'd really love to see them innovate more. But in the meantime, to be honest, Insta360 and DJI with their Osmo action cameras have just been crushing it, especially in the last couple of years. Now, I haven't had a chance yet to try out the new DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro, but I was impressed with all of the capabilities of that camera. But still, when comparing this to the latest GoPro, which is the Hero 13, I believe, or the DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro, this camera is still a bit above the cut when it comes to those other action cameras, and I've been just thrilled with my Insta360 cameras. Now, one other thing I should mention that was upgraded in the Ace Pro 2 from the original Ace Pro. The original Ace Pro had a battery that was 1,650 amp hours, I believe that's what it's called. Where the new one, milliamp hours, the new one is 1,800 milliamp hours. Now, the batteries are physically sized and shaped the same, so they are interchangeable. You can use the original Ace Pro batteries if you have a bunch of spares with the Ace Pro 2, but you will get a little bit longer record time with the Ace Pro 2's batteries being their 1,800 milliamp hours instead of 1,650. So again, that does make quite a bit of difference. Gives you a little bit more shooting time. Now, I'm going to boot the camera up here, and I'll let you take a look at the back screen. And of course, all of the gestures to control the camera with the touch screen are the same as they were on the original. You know, swipe up, swipe down, swipe left, swipe right, all of that stuff. None of that's changed. The menu's pretty much the same as it was on the original Ace Pro. So none of those kind of things have changed on the new generation of this camera. But it is still, like I said, an extremely compelling upgrade. Although, with the recent price drop on the original Ace Pro, I believe it's going now for $329. You can get the original Ace Pro for a good price, although the new one is selling for considerably cheaper than the original did when it first came out. The original Ace Pro was going for $499, I believe, when it first came out. And I was able to get this one this week for, I want to say, I think it was it was actually just a little under $4. I think it was like $379. I'll put it down in the description as well as an affiliate link, so if you want to pick one up for yourself, you can. And it came with a spare battery, which was pretty cool. So the standard bundle that you get with the second generation, unlike the first one, comes with 2 batteries, and as well as the wind guard that attaches to the bottom front here to help reduce wind noise when you're recording audio with your video. So this is the new Ace Pro 2. I'll go ahead and share some sample footage with you now, and then I'll come back and we'll wrap up this video. And of course, I figured while I was shooting some sample footage for you guys for my YouTube video, I'd go ahead and shoot some footage where I'm actually vlogging with the Insta360 Ace Pro 2 so that you can hear how good the internal microphones sound on this model, especially with the wind guard the optional wind guard already attached to the camera. I apologize for the noise. There's some folks in boats on the lake behind me. But this way, like I said, you get a chance to see what the audio sounds like when I'm not using my DJI Mic 2 with the camera, just so you can gauge for yourself what you think of the microphone performance. Okay, so as you were able to see for yourself, I was able to get some really great footage with the Ace Pro 2. No surprise there. I always got great footage with the original Ace Pro, and I'm planning to keep both cameras. I always like to have a spare action camera for when I'm out shooting in the field and stuff like that, just in case anything goes wrong. So I'm not going to get rid of my original Ace Pro. I'm going to keep it and have the pair of them to use. And for my particular use case, it probably most of the time won't matter which one I use. I don't shoot my videos in 8K, not generally anyways, or if I do, I downsample them to 4K when I process them to put on YouTube anyways. But again, I do like the upgrades. I like the fact that it has the dual chip, so I probably will use the the second generation the majority of the time because of the additional chip, which gives it more powerful image and computing power than the original with its single AI chip system. And again, if I decide I want to take it later on this year when summer gets here and it's warmer, I want to take this one swimming, I will take this one probably over the original just because of the fact that it's waterproof for a little bit, more depth than the original. You get an extra 6 feet of depth in the water with this one versus the original, so that would be handy as well. All right, that's going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch it. Please remember to subscribe down below, turn on all notifications, and I will see you in the next video.